Hello, hockey fans. We're here for a new episode of Five for Talking. I'm here with Bargo and I'm here with Caps, the captain of the show. And we got a quick little episode today. We're going to go over some news and we'll just jump right into this with your boy, Jason Robertson. Double Hatties, back to back. Back to back. 7 goals in 3 games. The guy was hot. I'm hoping Nick Robertson can get that hot, if you know what I mean. That was huge. If anyone has anything they want to say, or I'm going to move on.
I want to go quickly. Huge for him. He is a goal scorer. He's a sniper. I mean, in the league, not premier. But you also got to look at Dallas Stars as a team. Right now, they're on a 4-game winner. That has to do a big part with his success as well.
They actually look pretty good in the last couple of games. Okay, so moving on from that, the Tampa Bay Lightning scored 3 goals in 32 seconds the other night against the Chicago Blackhawks, which they set a team record for that. And the funny part of this is when I looked this up, 3 goals in 32 seconds. Guess in the all-time ranking what number they are.
6th.
No. Caps, you want to take a guess?
No, go ahead.
22nd. Isn't that crazy? Boston Bruins had 3 goals in 20 seconds flat in 1970-71. That's the record.
Against the Leafs, probably.
No, against Vancouver. And I believe they won. I believe it was like 7-3 or 8-3. But yeah, just a little tidbit there. Schmaltz got 7 points for the Arizona Coyotes. I think that's pretty notable. The Coyotes don't even get 7 goals in a game for the whole season, so that's pretty crazy to me.
Well, tonight they got 9 against the Red Wings.
And guess what? I'm just going to put this out there. I know I'm laying all my cards on the table here. I was about to pick up their goalie to play him against Arizona. I was like, oh, free win. And then I was like, thank God I didn't pick him up.
9 goals against. I would have smacked your record there.
Yeah.
Apparently Kessel was expecting his first baby, so they set aside a chartered flight for him. He went to the game, played 1 shift, and then he boarded a plane. Then he went to go, witness the person's baby. And the only reason why he played that 1 shift is so that he keep the iron streak alive. This is his 901st consecutive game for him.
Yeah, there's a few players that had crazy ones. It was him, Marlowe, and then the defenseman Yandel.
Yeah, Chicago.
So that there's a few really crazy ones still going on, which is nice to see. We'll get into Leafs talk in a second, but I wanted to talk about this thing that the score was saying. So they had the top trade candidates for the deadline, and I just figured we might as well go through it because there's some players I didn't even think about. Maybe at the end you can tell me who you think is actually the best person on this list. So by the scores ranking, number 1 they have Claude Giroux. Number 2 they have Jacob Chychrun. I always butcher his name. Chychrun, is that how you say it? That's a weird way to spell Chychrun. Marc-Andre Fleury, Thomas Hertl, Ben Sherratt, John Klingberg, Jake DeBrusk, which there's a lot of rumors that DeBrusk might go to Calgary. Mark Giordano, Alexander Gorgiev, and Justin Braun. Those are the top 10. The honorable mention, I'll give it to Phil Kessel, is the 11th guy on there. Who do you guys think on that list is the most valuable at this point to like any given team?
Well, it all depends on the team and what their needs are. Most teams are looking for defense. So I would definitely put Chychrun and I put Sherratt pretty high up on the list.
Yeah, Sherratt's a perfect guy for the Leafs. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah, but for teams that are just looking for a rental to get some depth scoring, Claude Giroux is a hell of a pickup.
Yeah, and you're bringing in a big-time leader with a lot of experience.
Yeah, but then on the flip side, if you're, per se, Edmonton, Marc-Andre Fleury has to be high up on that list.
Yeah, so I heard A lot of the rumors that remember we talked about it a couple of weeks in a row about the goalies, and Colorado might be in the market to pick up one of those big name goalies. They have completely diverted. There is no more goalie talk in Colorado town. Their big thing is now that they're trying to get Giroux. So I mean, I think that would be pretty crazy if that happened. Bargo, you got anything?
For me right now, trade deadline, I think the biggest commodity is goalies. A lot of teams are struggling with that. I think for like the Leafs and stuff like that, defensive talk is where they need to be. Would it hurt to get Marc-Andre Fleury in net for Toronto? Not at all. But I think a lot more teams are struggling. A lot more teams are struggling between the pipes than on the blue line.
Well, the big names are obviously Georgiev, Fleury, and then Holtby's being passed around a lot in the talk, as well as oh crap, I can't remember another one of the teams that has a double goalie situation, and then
a lot of them do.
It's Boston. It's Swayman, I think you're talking about.
And then what did I just? Oh, apparently Jonathan Quick is also on the market, which that's a good pickup if you have to be a really contending team for that to work out. But I mean, he does have 2 cups, so it is what it is. Okay, so we'll move on from that. I guess we'll go right into Leafs talk. They played tonight. Today is Tuesday when we're recording. So they played Seattle Kraken. They pulled out a 6-4 win. Auston Matthews got a hattie from a baddie. He's a beast. He's an absolute monster. I don't know if anyone else has anything specifically Leafs they want to talk about.
We're getting to your question.
Okay, well, I have this question. Let's talk about the Leafs goalies in general, but should they make a trade?
You want to go, Bargo?
For me, it would all depend on budget and what they have to move to acquire one. I think defense is where they need to start and then work their way back. I don't think getting a starting goalie is the answer right now. You have 2 goalies. I mean, granted, Mrazek's so-so, also having a few good games now in a row. Campbell is, I think, in my opinion, he's probably tired. I don't know what's going on there, but if they can address the blue line, I don't think a goalie's an acquisition they actually desperately need.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. You have to look at the different factors. One of the things, and it's a huge factor, is how much cap space they're working with. And because of the fact that they're only working with $5 million of cap space, what do? What's your biggest need on this team? For me personally, and I agree with Bargo 100%, defense is the biggest issue right now for this team. For me, the goalie situation, I'm not too concerned with it, and I'll tell you why. Let's take tonight's game as an example. I don't remember the first Seattle goal, but I will talk about the other 3. Those 3 goals resulted in 2-on-1s and a tip-in. Okay? My thing is, if you have competent defensemen playing in front of you to clear up those lanes, to move players in front of the nets, to tie up sticks, it will allow the goalie to make a save. It will give you a better chance for the goalie to make a save. If you can improve upon that, I think you improve on your chances of winning. So for me personally, they definitely need to get a couple of defensemen before we even start thinking about a goalie. And the only reason why I'm saying is the goalie thing is not too much of a concern is only because of the cap space they're working with. If Dubas can work off some sort of crazy magical deal, hey, great. But the fact of the matter is, I think Campbell has a better chance at winning if we got a better group playing in front of him.
So I think, as far as this goes, I mean, Do we have a goalie issue? Yes, in the sense that currently the goalies don't seem like they're doing too good. But do we have a goalie issue in the sense that we need to make a move for a goalie or with a goalie? No, I don't. We have two starting caliber goalies. One of them at our early parts of the season, maybe the first half of the season, was a top five goalie, and last year as well. So, am I really worried about the goalies that we have? Not so much. I'd rather see that $5 million go towards a defenseman. I think you're both correct. My question is, do you make a splash in terms of do you spend that $5 million going for a big dog that where a team retains some salary, or do you make a splash? I don't need names, but you pick up two guys that are solid defensemen.
Yes.
You would go with
Yes.
that?
I'm more on the two guy solid defensemen. The depth
Yes.
is what's going to change a lot. Come
Yes.
playoff time, guys are going to be tired, right? If you have one stud you're adding, you're going to have to give up some studs. So you're going to need him to run. And on the Campbell story, well, last year too, like in the playoffs, you look at Campbell, the way he played very well. And if you had a more defensive team in front of him that had a lot better structure, I think it would have changed a lot of those goals that were against him as well in the playoffs. He deserved
it's
wins.
evident. It's evident that the defense is the problem. And I think people need to chill out with the goalies. Yeah, they're doing bad. I'll tell you right now, they even in the games we're winning, they don't look good. But they're both starting goalies. They're gonna figure it out. Like, just chill. If
They're gonna figure it out.
One of them is gonna figure it out for sure. You know what I mean? So,
and it'll be a bonus that they both figure it out.
Hey,
but the
why
fact
not?
of the matter is, the fact remains, if we take away some of those odd man rushes that result in goals against, and those damn tip-ins, I mean, we improve upon our chances to winning games. Clear lanes, give those goalies a good look. It'll work out. It needs to work out, and I'm totally with Bargo on this. I would rather get two competent defensemen than one big time stud. You know what I mean? They got Lyubushkin, and I'm going to be honest with you, Lyubushkin actually looks pretty damn good. But I feel
he's up
very
there
uncomfortable. I do. I feel very uncomfortable going into the playoffs with Sandin and Liljegren. Sorry, I do. I mean, I've seen Liljegren make some mistakes in the last few games, and Sandin, to me, for me personally, Sandin is okay. But if you got a power forward standing in front of the net, Sandin has no chance of moving that person out of the way. So, like, we got to get better D. I'm sorry.
I agree. But in fairness to that Sandin comment, I don't think any of the Leafs are moving anyone out of the way from the front of the net except Jake Muzzin.
And that's the biggest issue. That's why I'm saying, like, Bargo's hit it on great.
I agree. I 100% agree with you about the Liljegren and Sandin situation. I'm a little more lenient towards Sandin, but then in agreement with you of why maybe we should pick up two guys is because I'm also not comfortable with Dermott or Hall playing. So it doesn't help me. It doesn't help me at all.
And the fact that you have Muzzin out, you know what I mean? It's like
the fact that you went out and picked up a guy that was like the lean meat of the trade that nobody's ever heard of, and he's been your best player since that trade on the defensive end is a problem.
It's a clear-cut indication that there is a huge need for defense on this team. It's as simple as that.
Regarding Liljegren and Sandin, I think with them too, it's experience. Like, there is young defensemen or smaller defensemen who can clear the traffic in front of the net, and I think that's going to come with the proper coaching and training as well, which I don't think they've had enough of. Like you guys said as well, I'm not comfortable with them going into the playoffs either. Hall especially. Dermott has his games, but he's also not that guy either. So, I mean, yeah, I think right now, biggest thing for them to do, if they can't pick up two, pick up one. You don't need to break the bank.
No, pick up two, man. I mean,
okay, but if they're gonna pick up, this is my thing. If they're gonna pick up the two lower cap guys, let's say, or even two smaller guys, but the teams retain some cap, they have to get two. If you're only gonna pick up one guy at the trade deadline, it has to be a monster. If you're gonna take just one, I don't want one depth defenseman coming in. We either take two or you go all the way in and bring a monster in. Because I'm not.
If you bring a monster in, it has to be on a 1-year deal and cap retained.
It's going to be a cap retain, 100%.
Has to be.
The way the Leafs are playing, the way they seem like they're eyeing this situation out, in my opinion, is that they want a one and done situation. They want to push this year, get whatever they can, win the cup. And if they don't win the cup, they're going to start again next year with the same thing. They don't want.
That's what I anticipated last year, though.
They don't want a long-term pickup at this trade deadline, is what I'm saying.
I think that was the whole point of that Foligno deal. Like, it's just improve upon your chances to try and win. But
I think all of last year was that. And they went about it the wrong way, though. Like, you're bringing in gritty forwards. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm not knocking on Foligno or anything, but that's not what the team needed.
Absolutely not.
They had guys like Foligno, but they're not allowed to play like Foligno. They have to play like a good Maple Leaf.
Also, he was injured.
That was a problem. Yeah, he played hurt too.
And the Tavares thing didn't help. But I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, what they're going to do that again this year. They're going to go all in at the deadline. Let's see what they do. I like the offseason pickups this year a lot more. They paid off way better, minus Nick Ritchie. So hopefully he can do some little pickups like that next year should things not work out, even if they do. But
you know what? Nick Ritchie turned into a decent Babushkin, so I'll take it.
Yeah. And for all those people out there that say keep Hyman, well,
yeah, it's funny because
our boy Bunting has got more goals right now.
But Bunting is clearly, this is my thing. Hyman has points this year. He's going to pass probably last year's points. But just watch him play hockey and tell me that Bunting, Kasha, or Camp wasn't all better players than him. He still can't skate. He still can't handle the puck.
It would have been great to keep Hyman if we could have afford him. It would have been great. But the fact of the matter is,
he wasn't worth that money.
You got Bunting for $900,000, and he's got just as many goals as Hyman. Plus, he's secured for one more year.
And
I think
go.
Okay, go get your hand.
No, I don't have anything.
I think, like I said before, with like Mikheyev, that's the kind of player Hyman is, with a bit more puck winning ability than Mikheyev. And the finishing touch, yes, Mikheyev this year has put away some more than last year. He's finishing a little bit more, but that's that type of player. They're gritty, but they can't finish. Bunting has a touch. He can put that puck in the net, whereas Hyman and Mikheyev, their touch is just off. Like, it's strange. There's not really much there.
So this is how I see that, and I think we should move on after this unless anyone has something desperate. But I think the way I see Bunting playing with them on that line is a guy who is actually talented and understands hockey, and he's playing it like it's a game of shinny. He's out there with two buddies, and they just click together. He gets what he's supposed to do. These are the two better players. I need to score the goals in front of the net.
Yeah, but let's give Bunting some credit. He's earned that spot. He worked his way up to that spot. He actually, no, I wasn't saying that. Sorry, but he actually played hard to earn that spot, and he's done a really good job up until now.
And we know how I felt about him early on. I couldn't stand him in the early part of the season.
When you add a player like that to a goal-scoring player, they need to work with that player and understand what that player needs to make sure that he's scoring goals, in the sense of Auston Matthews. And you have Mitch Marner, too, who's on fuego right now. Whereas Hyman, he wasn't able to do the things he probably needed to do, wasn't really working with the line in general. I mean,
he didn't have the talent to mesh with those guys.
Or even the raw ability to change his game style to fit, right? But yeah, I'll end it at that.
I'll give Kyle Dubas credit for that one. So
I will as well. Okay, so moving on to the final segmente here.
Second final.
I presented another hypothetical question. Actually, you know what? Why don't you give your thing first? We'll save mine for the end.
Okay, I'm going to try to rip through it quick because it's a few just stats I just want to go over. So just an update on league leaders. I thought it was something that we haven't really touched on, and it's coming up to that time anyways. So for the league in the NHL right now, you got points, league leaders. You got McDavid tied in first with Leon Draisaitl. They got 79. You got Huberdeau 77, Goudreau 73, and Nazem Kadri's having a great year at 72. He's tied in fifth, doesn't show sixth, so not sure who that is exactly. Goal scorers. Mind you, this hasn't been updated tonight, Okay, so when you hear the stats, you're going to hear Auston Matthews right now. And if you know he's got a hat trick, he should have 43, but currently listed on the score at 40. With that being said, he is tied in first place for Leafs all-time league team leaders with 4+ 40-goal seasons. He's tied with Sittler, I think, and then there's one underneath with 4, and then the other 3 underneath have 3. So he's on pace to be the leader in that next year. Under him, tied in second, you got Kreider, and Draisaitl, 38 goals.
I can't believe Kreider has that many goals. What a season.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's probably the best thing right now out of the Rangers. You have Ovechkin, 34, and you got Kyle Connor, who's doing really well in Winnipeg, 33. Those rookie cards that we scooped up, those hundreds are starting to pay off finally. For assists, you got Huberdeau having a great year at 59. Tied in second, you have Kadri at 50, McDavid at 50, and Goudreau at 50. Fifth place, you have Fox, defenseman, 48. It's good to see a D-man up there on the league leaders. Plus minus, you got Taves, Colorado's defenseman, 45. Lindholm also having a great year at 43 plus minus. Goudreau, 42. Cale Makar, 37. And Ekblad, 37 as well, tied in fourth. Power play points is one thing I think the Leafs don't really have a dedicated person to. Yes, they are pretty effective. But you got Connor McDavid, 31. Draisaitl, 31. They're tied for first. You got Panarin tied in third with 27. And JT Miller also having a great year.
Panarin's been pretty quiet this year, even though he's doing well.
I think it's the power play for him is what's showing based on what I'm reading right now. And also, like, I have him in fantasy, so I'm seeing that as well. He's tied with JT Miller, who's also having a stud of a year too. And you got Kreider as well with 25 in fifth. Let's get on to
25
right now.
Power play points?
Yeah, for Kreider.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's get on to goalies right now. We'll go to wins.
Just give us wins and shutouts.
Okay.
Or goals against.
I'll give you wins, goals against, and shutouts.
Okay.
Ripping through it pretty quick anyways. Vasilevsky, Tampa Bay, he's got 30 wins. It's expected. Your boy Freddie Anderson, 29 wins.
Best goalie in the league.
He's in second place. Tied in third right now, you got Shesterkins, 28. Bobrovsky, 28. And tied in fifth, you have Kemper with 27. Goals against, you have Dominguez, I don't know. Domingue, Pittsburgh, 0.98, which is under a goal a game. So depending on how many he's played, I'm curious to see that. You have Lindgren in St. Louis, 1.2. G. Sparks, LA Kings, 1.8.
Garrett Sparks!
Yeah. I wonder how many games he's played too. Shesterkins, 1.9. You got Swayman at 2.03.
Yeah, Shesterkin looks pretty good.
Yeah. Let's go on to shutouts. I think this guy's a Vezina candidate right here. Markstrom, he's got 8 shutouts. Sorokin in Islanders, he's got 5. You got Campbell at 4. You got Fleury, 4. And you got Jerry at 4, all tied for third.
It's surprising that Fleury has 4, considering how Chicago has been doing.
Yeah, those games are probably all him.
Okay, so let's just jump into this question here and get this over with. I'm thinking about doing hypothetical questions for the rest of my life. Which defenseman that's active right now would you want to build your team around?
I'm going to go with the person that's established himself in the last maybe 5 years, and that is Hedman.
Okay. Do you have anyone else you wanted to say? Just throw out there.
But in terms of an honorable mention, and it's really early, but I'm kind of intrigued of what this guy can do in the future, and that's Makar. It'll be pretty cool to see.
That's a good choice.
There's so many great defensemen that you can pick, but for sure, for me, I was pretty much settled on Hedman as a person that I would want to build my team around.
Bargo?
So for me, it would be Makar. If I'm going to build a team around a player, it's a player like Makar. I think his offensive abilities is enough. If you can put a team around him as well, which Colorado does already have, you're seeing his success as well as the teams. My honorable mention, I just had him on the top of my tongue and I forgot his name though. Doughty. He's a stud. He's a talker on the ice. I think him standing up in LA for this long, even through the rough times and the good, I think he'd be someone I'd want to build a team around as well.
Yeah, I think if all things are considered and their whole career went the way that the better years did, Brent Burns is in the argument too. But I mean, he played wing for a while. But I'm gonna say Hedman definitely. I think Hedman is my go-to guy here, and I think if I had to think anybody else, I'd go with Nick on the idea of like maybe somebody young. I'll give them a chance, and I would say Fox. I mean, look what he did last year, and he's still doing it this year. And he's the best defenseman on the Rangers. So, like we've yet to see, right?
I think my thing is with Hedman is if they Tampa Bay stacked, like if they're on a 3-peat pace.
Yeah, but he came in. He came in as a big guy. He came in as a huge name, and he's still a huge name.
Yeah, I'm not dogging him. Just I look at Tampa as a powerhouse in general.
Yeah, they are. Well, anyways, that's all we have, guys. Thank you for watching. Let us know which defenseman you would build a team around, and peace out.
Well, are we going to talk about what's coming up soon? I'm going to be heading out to the game over the weekend, put up some content, all that stuff. So just look out for that.
Caps will be getting us some content from the the
outdoor Leafs game, Leafs versus Buffalo, taking place in Hamilton. Yeah, man, I'm get some content, and it's for everyone to see, I guess.
Get the content; it'll be there. Thank you. It's this Sunday, right?
Sunday coming up, man.
All right. Well, I hope to see some good stuff. Thank you for watching.